Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here back again on the stage to talk to you guys about our customer success. And today, I feel very honored to be on this stage to talk you guys through the journey that EMC went through to achieve their success today. Before I begin, I just want to give you a little bit of a background of EMC. EMC is a group hospital of 8, in which the 8 hospitals are using TrackCare on the same data platform, which technically means that they have to standardize and consolidate the workflow before they even began their implementation. EMC has a very well-competent IT team who, luckily had worked with a TrackCare implementation years and years and years ago since the implementation of MedTrack. And if, for some of you who don't know MedTrack is actually the predecessor of TrackCare systems. So they come in with a very wise experience in implementing TrackCare product. When we do the implementation for EMC, the way we strategize the implementation is to make sure that at a point in time, InterSystems will play less and less involving role in implementation, and they will take more and more ownership in implementing TrackCare by themselves. So that has been strategized since day one. So what we need to do for them is to make sure that they have an extensive training from our team to make sure that they know product very thoroughly, as well as knowing the way to implement using ARIES methodology. And if you have heard me speak before, I have been using methodologies for the implementation, which is a proven method for a successful implementation and fast go live. Without further ado, let us jump into the journey of EMC going live with TrackCare. So EMC kickoff project started with the first hospital in January of 2022. Within just about 12 months, they finished the first implementation at EMC Alam Sutera, in which some of you in here will be visiting them tomorrow and see what workflow they have internally and how they use TrackCare. Then 4 months after, they implemented the second hospital, EMC Tangjarang. Now, we are leaving 4 months after the first implementation because we want to make sure that they have a smooth operations, correct or most optimal configurations and setups of the systems before we move on to the subsequent implementation. Several months afterwards, they roll out a third hospital. Then they continue on their journey, months after months after months, a few months away from each other, and they finished the implementation of 8 hospitals total within just only the 18 months after the first hospital go live. Now, EMC is on IntelliCare, and they are the first to adopt IntelliCare product under InterSystems. They went live with IntelliCare product on the 18th of August of this year, along with ambient listening functionality. The success journey of EMC actually continues on with JCI accreditation at the 3 hospitals, in which the way InterSystems help EMC is through closing the gap that they found, as well as getting ourselves very much involved in the continuous improvement project with EMC. The second success that just came this year, as the previous presenter has talked about, is MRAM Stage 6 accreditation, which they just received in July of this year. We started the process of MRAM certification or assessment about 18 months ago. And if you remember, 2 years ago, I was on the stage in Bangkok, telling you guys that we have this new program called the HTP program, in which HIMSS and TrackCare and InterSystems, we work together as a partner to help our customer going through the journey to get MRAM certification. EMC is our first customer to achieve level 6 under the HTP program. So I'm just gonna pause now, and I would like for you guys to give a big round of applause for the success that EMC had thus far. Thank you. We have Aries behind all these implementation success. I'm just gonna skip through this presentation because I think all of you have heard me presenting this way before and multiple times already. But what I would want to show you is the journey of MRAM through the adoptions of Aries methodologies in implementation. The first one is in the discovery stage. As we set the stage that EMC would like to be able at a point in time to have the full right ownership of being the implementer of track care with their subsequent hospitals. So we have strategized the implementation like that since day one. Then during the launch stage, what we usually do with the customer is to sit down, going through number of team members as well as the characteristic of the team members with them to make sure that they have proper team putting in place to make sure go live success. So what we found in EMC, which is quite interesting but very good, was that their team members or the people they put on the project team they have a very open mind and they are open to change. That is a very good first step of implementation success. So it's very good to the stage in which we in InterSystem thought that it is actually the culture of the hospital that made or facilitate the people to have such open-mindedness for all the changes that will come along the way. Then during setup, just like I said, we have some complexity to go through because EMC is using just only the one data platform for their 8 hospitals, which means that the consolidations and the standardization of workflows have to be there from the beginning. So they did a really good job doing that at the beginning, got the consolidated, standardized workflow before they began their journey. During the adoption, if you remember Dr. Bella, and you have heard Dr. Bella's voice as well on the video that they showed just now before I came on, Dr. Bella led change management on the clinical side as well as clinical training. If you met her along the way, you can ask her about this as well, but as part of the change management, she kept revising the content of clinical training site after site to make sure that we optimize them more and more and more over time to make the transition smooth for clinicians. And then here comes the sustainability of track care adoption, which we always go back to EMC and work with them through multiple projects to make sure that we keep enhancing the usage of track care and keep optimizing the setup of track care to make it works for them. And then eventually, JCI and HIM certifications are the 2 successes that they received in the past couple of years. So that's all I have to say for the journey of EMC track care implementation. And I would like for you guys to give a big hand to Wildan Johani, the IT Director of EMC Group, and welcome him on the stage.
Selamat siang, Bapak Ibu. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please allow me to continue Nana's presentation. Okay. I remember years ago, Dimitri presented IntelliCare during the Asia Summit like this in 2024. At the time, Dimitri presented IntelliCare, and a year after, we proud that EMC becoming the first hospital that implementing the IntelliCare. So I think what Don presented before about the agentic AI, I hope that a year later, maybe EMC will be also the first hospital that implementing the agentic AI. I hope so. Okay, so maybe many of you asking why EMC decided to implementing the IntelliCare, why other hospital maybe still considering about the benefit. I think there are many things, but one thing that very important is that our doctor actually complain about too many click in tracker. You know, actually we conducted a doctor survey about 2 years ago, and you know the result little bit below the mid value. That is the result. So that's why we always keep trying to how to make our doctor happy, because we believe that if our doctor happy, That will make our patient happy, and at the end will make our management is also happy. That's why this is our effort, yeah, how to make our doctor will more comfortable using the system, using the tracker. Second is that we realize that very complicated, yeah, to review the clinical data and also to summarize them. Because let's say if the doctor want to see about how about the last lab result of the current patient, doctor will be difficult to query. That's why the IntelliCare will help a lot, yeah, because doctor can ask like if we use ChatGPT, doctor can prompt, let's say, please tell me the last blood sugar level of this patient. So the system will show up the result. This will be very helpful. And as we also mentioned that in the previous session, actually all of the presenter also mentioning about the AI. AI is the future, so we believe that AI is the future, so we don't want to left behind in implementing the AI. And the other thing that we believe that the only AI embedded in tracker actually is just IntelliCare. Because if we use another system, for example, we need to set up the integration that make a system more complicated. And also about the real-time clinical intelligence and streamline workflow, yeah, for documentation and also for EHR navigation. And also this is very important, yeah, how to maximize the tracker investment. Because I know that many of you may be already implementing tracker, but because the cost consideration, maybe still thinking about is it worth it to implementing tracker. But I think that by using the IntelliCare, I think the investment, yeah, that we will invest it will be worth it. And next is that I think as Nana mentioned that we already done the tracker implementation, yeah, but what next? What next? So that's why we turn to AI adoption, because we feel that the AI is our future for digital transformation. This is some thing that we need to consider, yeah. So as I mentioned that maybe some of you still keep in the current version of tracker. So what is the benefit of we use IntelliCare? So as I mentioned that if we use the current tracker, actually we will not get the current functionality. Because I know that InterSystem built the new functionality based on the latest version of tracker. And actually this is a big project. Later I will show you that we need about 8 months, yeah, from kick-off until implementation until go live. So this is actually is a big project and quite a lot of changes, yeah, actually in the doctor module. And also we need a lot of resources, yeah. We need a lot of we call it key user or champions, yeah. In this case, we need a lot of GP to be educated, to be trained, because we have about 700 specialist doctor. So all the specialist doctor are trained by our GP. And about the impacts, yeah. The impacts actually is very important, yeah, because some of our hospital already GCI accredited, and based on the GCI latest edition, actually there is a chapter for AI. So we have to be careful when we are implementing AI, because there are some requirement, yeah, in the GCI. Let's say for example for the policy and also how we evaluate and about the team that evaluate. So we have to consider it. And also the impacts, yeah, because I think not all AI work properly. Yeah. Sometimes there is error, there is a bug that we need to manage, because based on our experience, actually we have experience that the answer of the question that doctor question is far from the truth. That is something that we also learn. Okay, so this is the planning for success, yeah. First is that we have to make plan, yeah, for the requirement for IntelliCare, because IntelliCare will running on the tracker version 2025.2, and also the iris would be upgraded to version 2024. And also we have to have excellent internet connectivity because we use Microsoft Azure to connect to the AI Microsoft server. And also we have to define who will get impact the most. In our experience, actually, the parties that will get impact the most is doctor, and then nurses, and pharmacy, and frontliners. And also we have to be engaged with the right stakeholder. One is executive, hospital director, and then the management below. And also the end user, doctors, nurses, pharmacy. And also we have to consider about the integration with the existing system. Because for example, in our system actually, IntelliCare connect to many different applications, whether in-house application or even external application like Satu Sehat, government platform for data exchange. And also we have to be done testing and testing. This is very important, because although I believe that InterSystem already have a QC team, but when it implemented in hospital, sometimes there is error or bugs that not found before during in the QC. And also we have to provide training, education material, and also support to user. And last thing, we have to get feedback from the user, from the doctor, from the nurses, so we can improve the reliability or the capability. This is about the adoption journey. So we have a high-level plan. This is actually from Nana. I will share you later. And then we have to assess also our hardware server. And then InterSystem will conducting a demo. And then from the demo, there is gap between the demo and our requirement. So that's will be called mandatory changes. And after we define the changes, then InterSystem will set up AI and site configuration. And then after that, we conducted key user training. As I mentioned, that key user for specialist doctor actually is our GP. We have many GP. Typically in our hospital, in each our hospital, about 10 or 12 GP. So we make them all are champion or key user. And then after we provide training to key user, then the key user will train to end user, including the doctor, the nurses, and also the frontline staff. And then we roll out the TrackCare 2025.2 first, before IntelliCare, because this is mandatory before we upgrade into IntelliCare. So we go live with TrackCare 2025.2 in 1st of August. And then the IntelliCare itself go live in 18 August. So there is a time period that because we need to make sure that the tracker is stable first, before we upgrade into IntelliCare. And then the last one is that we need to have feedback from our user to improve the AI. This is the high-level plan that I mentioned before. Actually, this is developed by Nana. So as you can see here, we start the plan for upgrade since January this year. And then there are many tasks that we need to complete. And lastly, in August, we go live with the IntelliCare. It's a long journey, actually. Now, this is our secret for successful implementation. First is I mentioned before that we need to be testing and testing. And we found about 60 error, 60 bugs during the testing phase. So as I mentioned before, although InterSystem maybe already have a tight QC, but in the field, when we implementing in the hospital, we still found many bugs, many errors that we need to resolve. For example, something that previously worked properly in the previous TrackCare, but when we upgrade to TrackCare 2025.2, the error becoming happens. So that's why we need to be careful for testing and testing. So I think the more we test the system, so I think will reduce the error later. And then the second one is about the key user training. Yeah, this is what I mentioned, that all of our GP becoming champions, because their task actually is to train our specialists. Because actually in Indonesia is unique, yeah, because specialist actually is partner. Specialist is not employee, but GP is our employee. So it's easier for us to train our GP, yeah, because actually we can control our GP rather than control our specialist. The third one is about the end user training and socialization. So actually we don't just give the training to the doctor, but also to socializing, yeah, with many channel. For example, we create a video to how to use the IntelliCare, and also we create a flyer and poster, yeah, just to remind the doctor that, let's say, since in the mid of August, the system will be changed. So at least that they will aware that there is a change in the system. This is also important, yeah, that actually we don't just train to, let's say, doctor, but we build the champion, yeah. As I mentioned that all key user, that is GP, is the champions. So why the GP must train the specialist? Because, you know, the doctor sometimes can only hear from her peers, yeah. So if the trainer is not from the doctor, actually it's hard for specialists to get educated. And then we develop standardized content, but personalized delivery, because specific specialists sometimes need a specific requirement. That's why we develop the requirement based on the specialization. And also then we reinforce, yeah, with the repetition, multiple format, yeah, including the flyer, yeah, the on-demand videos, and also even live Zoom. And the last one is that we always measure the education or the training that we give to the doctor with the post-test. So we can evaluate how many acceptance of the doctor in the training material. So the highlight one in this end user training actually is that we have to move, yeah, from let's say human to system, yeah. So the biggest takeaway is that we focus on the people first. Okay, then the fourth one is in the rollout or go live itself, yeah, because we have to planning for go live, because CCR, control change request, will be inactive 10 days. So we have to be careful, because sometimes hospital need urgent changes in the system that we cannot provide, because CCR will be inactivated for 10 days. And then during the upgrade, we experience about 5 hours system down. So we have also to be careful, yeah, because during the system down, although we already select the time with the lowest activity in the middle of the night, but still, yeah, some doctors sometimes have the critical surgical that make our staff need to access the record of the patient. So accessible clinical documentation is a must. We develop in-house application that can access the database, although the tracker application itself is not available. And also we have application that can access the order item price, because if there is a emergency patient, for example, discharge, then the caser need to make the billing. So during the system down, we can still access the price of each order item using the developed system. And also we have to prepare the manual procedure form and input the data when the system goes up. And it's very important that we have to have on-site support from the inter-system staff. And for the post-go live, we realized that many problem arise after go live. Even something that we not considered before, because when the situation is live, sometimes there is something that we are not tested before, but happens when we face in the real life. And then we also have integration issue, because when we in the testing phase, actually we cannot testing all the integration. As I mentioned to you that we have many applications that integrated into Tracker, so we don't have any chance to test each of the integration. But when the system live, actually we realize that, this integration doesn't work because maybe there is something changed in the, let's say, in the field of the database or something. And also, key user need to support the doctor. As I mentioned, although we already have many channel, but in reality, in real field, actually, until the DDs, there are many doctors that even attend the training, specialist doctor. So I know that the doctor actually is very smart people. So I think just train them just 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they already understand. But to make a doctor attend the class actually is very difficult. That's why our key users should be ready when the specialist doctor need for help. And then, ad hoc patch, because when intersystem find an error, actually intersystem create ad hoc patch. But using ad hoc patch sometimes make the other module doesn't functional well. So let's say it patches in other thing, but the other thing will get impact. So we experience like that. So that's why this should be careful also, when we are implementing ad hoc patch, because sometimes, because maybe the time to test is not long enough, that's make sometimes it create another problem. That is something that we also learn. And also we notice also about the speed of the solution, because last time when we are go live, we have something that this is very interesting, because this problem create the system slow and not accessible. Even sometimes it happens in 3 a.m. in the mornings. And finally, we found that this is related to the nursing care plan module. So if the user doing something workflow, but suddenly it create a problem for the whole system. And finally, intersystem can solve the problem, but it takes about 2 or 3 days. That is something that we also learned that, implementing ad hoc patch is also be very careful. This is the outcome and benefit. We implementing two ambience and clinical assistance, and as you know, each have outcome and benefit. For AI assistant, the benefit is saving time for the doctor, reduce screen fatigue, and also help GP during ward rounds. And for the ambience, actually the benefit that doctor no more typing during consult, better focus on the patient, and also faster documentation that align with medical standard. This is the lesson learned that we have. First is that for ambience actually is appropriate for emergency department. Why? Because sometimes when there is a patient come into AR, actually doctor must treat first, right? So when they treat the patient, in the past when the treatment finished, the doctor back to the laptop, they forget what the discussion to the patient and what medicine that I give to the patient. But with using the ambience, actually ambience record everything. The conversation is recording, so when the doctor back to the laptop and then they upload the ambience to the system, all are recorded. And directly go to the each field, SOAP and also the order, the lab, etc. So we conclude that emergency department is the prime use case for ambience. And for swab control, actually is required because we can control whether the conversation concise or detailed version, yeah, because let's say if the doctor have a long conversation with the patient, so the ambient is also have a long of text, yeah, that maybe not all of the conversation need to be recorded in the SOP. So that's why it need habit maybe, yeah, from the doctor how they can control the conversation. And also about the doctor language, yeah, it must be pronounced properly, yeah, because sometimes if the doctor just said, please check blood sugar. What blood sugar test? Randomly or fasting? So that's need to be appropriate, yeah, with what the doctor plan. And also about the workflow barrier, we experienced that actually in our workflow, the patient that can be use ambient actually need to be registered first. But in the field actually, when the patient come to emergency, the doctor need to treat first, yeah. No need to be admin first. That's why it seems we need to change the workflow, yeah. That every patient, although they don't haven't been registered, can be using ambience. And about the hardware compatibility, we experienced that some of the smartphone, let's say Android version, doesn't work properly with the ambient. So we realized then when we change or replace the smartphone, then it's work okay. So I think there is something hardware of the smartphone that not 100% compatible. And the last thing is about the PROM, yeah, because you know, actually currently InterSystem only provide a certain PROM, yeah, but you know, our doctor sometimes typing unexpected PROM, yeah, that maybe we also learn, yeah, that actually that is the doctor wanted. So in this case, I hope that InterSystem can accommodating, yeah, our doctor PROM, yeah. So because actually the PROM that the doctor type can be monitor, yeah, can be extract the data. So actually in the future, InterSystem will make more PROM accessible to the doctor. And I think it's not written here, but yeah, my time is finished. Actually, for the hospital that haven't been implementing TriCAD, actually you are very happy. Why? Because the error, the bugs already covered by us. So I think after we succeed with the implementation, I think the IntelliCare that maybe will be implemented will be more stable, will be more functional, and also will be more effective to help the doctor to reduce the time of the consultation. Thank you.